Hi, this is Christian from Currents, and you're listening to the Vulgar Display of Podcasts.
We're stuck in the same old standstill again. Sick of waiting for you to feel it. Always waiting for the next breakdown to begin. Scared of getting too complicated. What a shame! Hiding in your shell again. Better fucked out of better days than this opportunities. I don't want to hear that the times are changing. I'm the same as I've always been. Why can't you see? Are you even listening?
Welcome to the Vulgar Display of Podcast, live from the Barn Studios. Got the Mox here with Dale and Twan. What's up, fellas?
What up, what up?
We're excited about this one. We got a special guest on the line right now. We have Christian from Currents. Christian, how are you?
Doing well, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us. You
Yes.
getting ready to go out on a little bitty tour, no big deal.
Something minor.
Yeah, a couple people might show up.
Yeah, right.
maybe.
Bands no one's heard of. It's pretty minor.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that like people like come out of the woodworks to message me being like, "Wait, really?"
Right, I bet, man.
Yeah, and you start hearing from all those friends you haven't talked to since like middle school. Like, hey, man, can I get some tickets?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I mean that doesn't matter too much. I don't care about that as long as what bothers me is when people like beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, hey, miss you. By the way, you think maybe it's like, yo, just come on and be like, hey, dude, haven't talked in a while, but you think you can hook me up? I'd be like, sure, let's go.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Well, we appreciate you joining us today. We're going to be catching that tour February 7th at the Pageant in St. Louis, Parkway Drive, Memphis, Mayfire, Currents. I mean, talk about a stacked bill. I think this has Dale written all over it.
Dude, yes, this was like made for me.
It was. I think that's what I said whenever we sent it and we saw it announced. And I was like, fuck, this is like custom made for Dale.
Right. This is like me listening in my car if I could create a concert.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Absolutely, man.
How long ago was the tour where you were overseas? You just got off tour, right? Not too long ago?
Yeah, this has been the longest I've been home in like a year. So since September, we did that full US with Miss May I, and then like I was home for maybe like 10 days, and then we went out with Silent Planet over in Australia, and then we did Never Say Die in November with Suicide Silence after the burial by all those guys. So it was a long like fall, but it was so incredible. The experience was insane.
Oh, for sure.
And I forgot to mention, we need to shout out Alicia Baker, right?
Yes, the homie.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love Alicia.
Yeah.
She's a good friend of yours and a good friend of ours, and been a big, huge supporter of us, and I'm sure you guys as well. So shout out Alicia. I forgot to mention
Yes,
that.
many thanks bringing this all together. That's how you and I were introduced. We met in 18 at the As Lay Dying show, and then we ran into each other again at Thyarda's Murder, and then again at Miss May I, and all those connections through Alicia. So it's very cool.
Yeah, shout out to her. She's the woman.
Yeah, she is. She is for sure. Great peeps.
How did you guys like form that friendship?
It was honestly just at that show, at the
Pops.
As They Lay Dying show. Yeah, she's just really friendly and chatty, and we just started talking, and after that we became friends online and just kept in touch over the years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's very cool, and that shows who you are as a dude, to be very personable as not just an artist, but as a friend and a human as well, to actually keep in touch with fans and make them friends. That is very fucking cool.
Oh, thank you. I mean, sometimes it's I guess because all this stuff kind of happened a little bit later in life for me, it's a little bit hard to line on the difference between fans and friends,
Absolutely.
Well, we're friends now.
Yes.
we are.
We're calling it.
family now.
We are family. Exactly. When I saw you ran into you for the third time at the Miss May I show at Red Flag, I saw you in the bathroom. We took a double take and we like broed out and the hand shook. And then I walked out. I'm like, he remembers me. I was all giddy and shit.
The funny thing, the first time I went to Red Flag, especially in the bathroom, it's hilarious because there's mirrors in front of the urinal.
Yeah.
Like all around the urinals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, whose idea was this?
What are we looking at here?
Yeah, the show's supposed to be out there, not in here.
Right. Funny.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, thanks again for all that. Very cool. Very cool.
Hey,
Anytime.
this newest single of yours, Vengeance.
Whew.
Banger.
Banger. We got a little sound effect here for our bangers, and this is definitely a banger. Here we go.
Thanks, boys.
So
Yes.
So we play a little game show on here called Banger or Bust, and that one got the banger.
Yes, 100%.
Man, it's such
That's awesome.
it's such a great song. And tell us a little bit about, like, is this going to be a part of the record that's coming out this year, or what's the plan as far as the bigger picture?
Well, there's only so much I'm allowed to say. I'll be getting a call from Chris Klump being like, "What are you doing?" There's a plan coming out and everything like that, but it's definitely. I guess I could say it is definitely part of a bigger plan, a bigger picture that you guys won't have to wait super long to get some more information out.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's all I needed to hear. Yeah.
Excited.
Yes.
To me, your sound has evolved a little bit. I think it sounds like more of a mature sound, definitely heavier, I think, than some of your earlier work. Do you guys get that sense as well?
Yeah, I think it's kind of just dialing it in, I think all of the records that we have are really just songs and music that we like ourselves. And it's kind of the stuff that we would just want to hear. And the funny thing about that song in particular was we wrote that one in the studio because our producer was like, what if like Currents wrote like a really like ignorant beat down type of song? We were like, okay.
Yeah. We're game for that. We're game.
Yeah. And it's fun. Like, we just aim to make each other laugh. Like, we know as soon as we're all like laughing because it's ridiculously heavy, then we like nailed it.
Yeah. Because that's what I love about you guys is the great blend of the heavy and then the clean vocals and singing as well. But this one just came out with a fucking punch in the face.
For sure.
Brutal.
I think it's fun to dance around like the genres. Like metalcore and deathcore kind of have like such an interesting relationship, and there's for some reason there's like always like a big line in the sand of it, but I think it's fun to like flirt with the idea of like blending into different genres,
Sure.
And most of my favorite bands do that.
Yeah.
Where it's not just one thing. I mean,
Right.
I like my genres. I want to listen to death metal, so I listen to death metal. I want to listen to hardcore, so I do that. But some of my actual like all-time favorite bands, they just blend the genres and play off a bunch of different
And to
ones.
have the talent to do that speaks volumes.
For sure. And is we all have like such vast like tastes in music. Like Brian and I have like a very like post-hardcore background, like bands like Story of the Year, Thrice, Seosin, like those were heavily influenced on us like growing up. So that's why like a lot of the choruses and everything have those really like melodic and like post-hardcore kind of feel to them.
Would you say that touring affects you guys' writing style or writing sound? Does it, do you pick up different influences out on the road?
I think just touring gives us reps, and it's just practice in being better at being Currents.
Sure.
It felt very natural. Like this was the most natural, easiest process of writing like songs that we've ever had. It was just knowing there was no pressure in being like, what are we gonna like? How is this gonna sound? What are we gonna do? It's like, this is Currents. This is what we write. And and Chris being the backbone of that, really, like, I think he's really dialed in. And I think just like the touring gives us more in depth in what our roles are and like what our strengths are, and especially what our weaknesses are, and so that we could work on those.
Sure. Like you said, it's the reps.
Yes, absolutely. Reps are everything.
And you guys get the reps because you are steady on tour.
Road dog.
Road dogs. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So, Christian, while we're talking about the evolution of the band, what would be a good introduction track for somebody who doesn't know Currents? What would you have them put on?
I feel like Monsters is a good track, or better days. It also kind of depends on if you know the person who
Their style.
like that you're like what you're introducing. If
Sure,
like they're
yeah.
a person that likes heavier music, then
Like
you know
Poverty of
something
Self.
like Poverty of Self, definitely like songs like those. Yeah, I think that's partially why like a lot of the love that we get from all over the place comes from is just that like everybody can get a little bit of everything. It's a little smorgasbord.
And your live show as well, because the stage presence, all you guys going hard on the harder parts, and then when you're singing along, you have all the fans singing along. Like you said, it like reaches out to everybody.
Oh man, it's been incredible. The last, like, especially the last few months, the singing along has been just absolutely mind blowing. So we have in-ears and it makes everything soundproof. So at first it was a little bit weird to get used to because we were playing a live show and there's no like stage volume coming at me. So it almost feels like I was just practicing in my room with like 1,000 people watching me. And because like you can't hear anything. I could like barely hear the drums being like bleeding in through my ears. And then the last few months, the people have been singing so loud that it's like it goes like it's almost deafening even with my ears in. It's incredible.
It's got to be a good feeling.
Oh, absolutely.
And
It's the best high in the world.
Yes.
I feel like that's a part of a current show now. You just kind of not expect it. You know, I'm sure you still, you know, sort of pinch yourself like this many people know our songs,
Yes.
but do you feel like it's a part of the show, a part of a current show?
Absolutely. It's especially being from New England, the live show and live performance has always been like all of the hometown heroes from around here. It was such like a big influence on us and our scene, like always having like crowd surfers and like people like jumping on it, like kids storming the stage and singing on it. Like basically like any, like if you ever watch any hardcore show from like This Is Hardcore, that was me growing up. Like every single show was like that. And, it's definitely bled into like who we are as musicians and has become a part of the show. Like I love like fans being a part of it.
Oh, for sure.
And you mentioned Story of the Year.
St.
You know,
Louis.
I sort of feel like they have some sing-along. I know it's kind of different.
Oh, yeah.
It's a more melodic sing-along part, but they're also like your label mates now, right, on Sharp Tone?
Oh yeah, that I fanboy hard with that. Like, I'm trying to get Sean to be. I'm like, yo, let me in one of those meetings. Like, let me just talk with them for a little bit. Come on.
That's so funny because we grew up like in St. Louis, seeing them all the time when they were Big Blue Monkey, and then went out to Arizona and changed their name to Story of the Year. That was like the biggest shit ever.
I saw them in 2004, and my parents took me to go see them, and that was it. Like I saw them, and that moment was like I was like, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
I feel like everybody saw them in 2004. Like
Yes.
the whole world saw them in 2004.
Yes, most definitely.
And then I saw them so many times after that.
Yeah, great band.
Yes.
Great band.
They're actually on a Knot Fest in Australia
No kidding.
this
Really?
coming year. Yeah, they
Nice.
scored a spot on that, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've always loved that band, and I hope that they get the recognition that they need, because I feel like they've always been like we know who they are, but they haven't been like a household name, and they deserve that.
100%. Yes.
Great songwriting, catchy hook.
A live show, throwing guitars back and
yeah.
forth to each
Hell of a
other.
live show.
Yes, jumping all over the place.
Like I remember like being in school and like putting on like a proxy site so I can go on YouTube and like bypass like the school security thing, and then watching like the Pepsi Smash and like all those videos of them doing backflips on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, going bonkers.
They were like Cirque du
yeah.
Soleil or some shit.
Yeah.
Cirque du Soleil with guitar.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, so, you know, one of the hot topics right now is venues taking merch cuts. So we have to ask you, you know, what's your opinion on that, and how do you guys get around that, or how do you guys deal with that?
I mean, it's an interesting thing. A lot of the times, the one weird thing about it that when it's coming to light is that it's not like a secret thing. It's not like you get to a venue and you're surprised by it. Like they're in the contracts, like before you even go on the tour. There's a lot that goes into it. Is it something that I think is a little bit weird? Yes. But you know, doing this for a long time, like I have a lot of friends that are promoters and stuff like that, and they do lose a lot of money on like through some bands not doing draws and like their guarantees being higher, and like the only way that they're gonna like get out of like the red or even to break even is to have like a merch cut. And I mean, there's a lot of variables. I think there's a point where it's like sometimes where it's like 20%, like that things get kind of gross sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of fuckery that goes around.
Yeah. Yes.
Like it's like the same thing. Everybody's different, like a lot of venues, like there's a merch cut in the contracts, but sometimes they're like, they don't even take it. They're just like, yo, you guys are awesome. Like, don't even worry about it.
That's great.
So I mean, it is what it is. And then like you got some venues that like scalp their own tickets and then like charge like insane fees for no reason just because they can. So it kind of goes off in like the morales, like the morality of whoever's running the venue. So it all depends. I don't think anything is just like black and white. There's time. It's like anything. I guess like there's times where it could be gross, but then like it's also like I understand why they do it.
Yeah, like you said, anymore it's like it's just part of it.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, oh, then like should we get part of like the liquor?
Yeah, their sales. Yeah, I mean we're selling our shit. Yeah, and they're getting some of our stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's definitely good that it's a discussion that's being brought to light, but venues get shut down all the time, and I think there's enough like pieces of the pie to go around, and that like if some people are trying to get greedy, I would rather pay a little bit of a merch cut if that means having more venues, having more like kids and like people to be able to make a living doing something in music and doing all other sorts of things than just to kind of come home with like a couple of $100 extra bucks in my pocket,
Right. Very well said.
One thing that I've noticed here lately, it seems like bands are being a little bit more creative with their merch. And I think you guys are kind of a part of that too. You have your own coffee, you have candles, you're kind of exploring different areas with some of the merch, and that's really neat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's just having fun with it. Just different ideas, having people getting excited. A lot of people were really excited about the beer that we did. And we were able to have that at our local venue for our Christmas show. And we have some plans for some more stuff to come. So I'm really excited for all of that. It's just fun. Creative.
Anything with that logo on it, because my opinion, hands down, best logo in the game.
Great.
Love that logo.
Thanks, man.
Great logo.
Yes, love it.
Yeah,
You can read it.
It's incredible how many people have it tattooed on themselves now.
Yeah, it's great. It's
I
perfect.
see it all the time.
We're excited for that new merch drop. We're excited for maybe a potential announcement of something in the future with music.
Possibly an album.
And we're damn sure excited for February 7th at the pageant in St. Louis, Missouri, home of Story of the Year, by the way.
Yes.
That's right.
You know it.
Darker Still Tour, Parkway Drive, Memphis Mayfire, and you guys, Current, February 7th at the pageant. Vulgar Display, a podcast, is going to be there in full effect.
Yes,
we can't wait to jam it out, man.
I can't wait either. It's going to be a good time.
Hell yeah, it will be.
Christian, we appreciate your time today.
I appreciate you guys. Anytime.
Yeah!